Yo! It's Kevin. GMAT Tuesdays. Like my jacket? It's pretty sweet, huh? It's a little too small for me, actually. And maybe it's a little too warm for autumn Berkeley. Okay. Today, we're going to talk about, I'm not out, absolute versus appositive phrases. This was actually a comment that a student left, and it was a good question. It was like, how can I tell the difference between an absolute phrase and an appositive phrase? And it's understandable how that might be a little confusing because they have a lot of similarities, which this is probably the ugliest Venn diagram that's ever been created, but hopefully it conveys the idea these are the things that are similar, these are the things that are different. So they're both noun phrases, they both involve commas, they're offset by commas, and they both can appear anywhere in a sentence. So we can't rely on sort of these things to tell the difference. We really have to rely on what they're doing in the sentence. So their purpose is what we have to pay attention to. So an absolute phrase modifies the entire sentence. It's telling us more about everything that is in the sentence. It's constructed with a noun plus a bunch of other words, and those other words can't be verbs. You will see participles in there, but not true verbs. A positive phrase modifies the preceding noun only. So it's adding information to the sentence about a noun. Usually that information is to help to elaborate, describe further that noun so that the reader better understands it. So it might be something that's not quite known, and so the appositive phrase is there to add more information about that noun. It's made up of modifiers. There will be a noun in there, probably some adjectives. Again, you won't see a verb. You might see some participles, but it's made up of modifiers. So I have two example sentences here. You can pause and read and see if you can figure out which one is which. And I tried to keep them similar to show that how the phrase is used is really the key to understanding the difference between the two. So let's take a look at number one. Fractal art was very popular at the museum. Never-ending, infinitely complex patterns, self-similar across different scales. Okay, so this is our phrase coming at the end of the sentence. And this is not, so you can think, remember, appositive is describing a preceding noun. If we look here, this phrase is not telling us about the museum. And it's not telling us, it's not telling us about the museum. It's telling us about why fractal art was very popular at the museum. So it's adding more information to this idea about this information about fractal art being very popular. So this is an absolute phrase. It's describing the whole sentence, not just the preceding noun. Never-ending, infinitely complex patterns, self-similar across different scales, tell us about fractal art and why it was popular. If we look at number two, the fractal art, never-ending, infinitely complex, that are self-similar across different scales. So here's our phrase. Again, pretty similar to what we saw before. Was the most popular exhibit at the museum. So again, commas are involved, but this time the phrase is telling us more about what fractal art is. It's describing fractal art, telling us what it is, not necessarily why it's popular. And so really how the phrase is used in the sentence is telling us if it's an absolute or a positive phrase. So really the key is think, what is the phrase modifying? Is it modifying the entire sentence, or is it just modifying the preceding noun? Okay, I think that's it. If you have any questions about this concept, please feel free to leave comments. If you want to know about the next GMAT Tuesday video coming out, please subscribe to our channel. And we have all kinds of great, useful resources over at gmat.magoosh.com. head over there and you can check them all out. All right, get my jacket. I'm out of here. Be excellent to the universe.